Mhm. Hey y'all, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in for this word of encouragement on this evening for Wisdom Wednesday. Come on in for this brief word of encouragement on Wisdom Wednesday. Go ahead and tag someone, share. They can come back and watch the replay. Thank you for those of you who are already coming in, already joined in, coming that are coming on at this time. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Those of you that are new to Wisdom Wednesday. This is just a segment that I come on to do provide words of encouragement and maybe words for transformation for you. I do believe in change. I don't believe that we should be the same way as we were yesterday. you know Life is about change, and it's about evolving. It's about becoming a better you, and every day we have to die to self in order to change, right? And but this is just a small segment that I come to do and provide words of wisdom. Listen, however, of the words or whatever I may bring each Wednesday, however it may hit you, it may touch you. And I'm trying. I tell you every Wednesday, every now and then, I take a breather. I may be on vacation. I just may, you know, it's very rare. I've been doing this for 4 years. It is part of an assignment God has given me, and I believe in remaining consistent. I believe in remaining in my lane, and I believe in doing what God has told me to do. Because guess what? Majority of the time when he tell you to do something, it's not just about you. And there are many people that this small segment of Wisdom Wednesday has touched in these last 4 years. People that I may have never met, people that may inbox me, that may sow into this ministry of the things that I do. So I don't count it just for me just coming on just because I don't have anything to do. Because many of you that know me, I have a lot to do. However, I'm blessed to do um, this thing. That's part of my assignment. So, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. But I wanted just to come just briefly to tell you that all things are working. All things are working. Might not look like they're working, but they're going to work for your good, the bad, the obstacles, the successes, the pains, the tears, the gains, all of that is working for your good. Don't you fret. It may not look like it right now, but what the end is going to show you that everything that you're going through now, everything that you went through, all the lessons, all the tests, all the breakups, all the heartaches, all the pains, all the promotions, all the yeses, all the nos, everything is always working, has worked for your good. Sometimes we need those reminders. And why is that? Because sometimes it might not look like it. Sometimes it may not feel like it. Oftentimes we may be in a crunch time. You may have a bill or something that needs to be paid. You may have stuff that is going on and it looks like everything is closing among you. Listen, we are in a time of inflation. Everything is high. Food is high. It's school time, school clothes, different things, everything, gas, everything is high. But let me tell you something. I'm thankful of the things that I can do. Thankful that I'm able and have the ability to work so that I can provide for myself and my family. so that I can get my necessity. I might always not have my wants taken care of, but you best believe my needs gonna always be taken care of. And I'm thankful to God that even though sometimes I might not want to get up for work or do a lot of the things that God has me doing, but I know at the end of the day that He is Jehovah Jireh. He is the provider. It You may be going through some things, you may be in transition, you may be changing jobs, you may have gotten laid off, because there are a lot of jobs that people are being laid off, jobs are closing, they're transitioning, they're outsourcing. We see many of things now. They got all these self-checkouts. Let me tell you something. It may be convenient for some, but if you look at where we're going, if you look at the changes that are going on in this world, they're taking out the humans, and technology and different things is taking over. So we got to be up on a lot of different things. But even in that, because it is written, guess what, y'all? Nothing is new under the sun. Do you hear me? Nothing is new under the sun. So what may be looking like, oh my God, I'm not used to this, I'm not this, that, and the other. Can you imagine what our ancestors would have to are going through, or looking at the ones that are alive, to see some of the things that they never saw when they was coming up. I remember I was talking to someone the other day when bubble gum was a penny, the little bubble gum. It was hard, but it was good. You understand? Stuff now, some of the same gum that I usually paying 99 cents for, or whatever, it's $2 and $3. Stuff is high. But even in this, all things are working out. You may have people that are leaving you. You may have doors that have been shut in your face. You may have, listen, you may have been be talked about, lied on. Whatever, all of it is working for your good. You have to understand that all things don't deserve a response. And just like the liars do and they lie, they have to answer for those things. What I understand, and I made a post about this earlier, let me tell you something. We're dealing with a lot, and I'm going to talk about that later, because I talked about that and did a live on that, imposter syndrome, not too long ago. But you cannot be distracted about the lies, about the people who are leaving, about the ones who may not be supporting, about the ones you might have helped and did. You can't be distracted for that. But yes, even in that, God is separating and doing some things for a reason. Everybody that you may have think it is for you or was for you, really, it may be some other things or motives that was in that. But even still, all things are working for your good. God will send what you need. He will provide. You just stay true and do what you're supposed to do, what God has called you to do. Be your unique self. That is the why one of the reasons that he gave me the title of my book, Be Unique. You have to be yourself. You have to do what God has called you to do, no matter what it looks like. No matter if you're the only one that's doing it, he called you to do it. You understand? He will send you help for the visions that he has given you, for all the closed doors, for all the no's, for all the heartaches, for all the pains, for all the tears you cry, for the children that may be going wayward, for the family members that are acting real hellish, or the ones who don't support you, don't sow into you, or who has turned away. Listen, even in that, sometimes that is all things working for you, because what we may look like as bad, because they may be blood and you may have been besties, and you call each other family, whatever, for all this time. But seasons do change, and you have to move with the seasons, because if you are doing things out of season, that's not in season, that's going to be on you. Let me read you this, and it's a familiar chapter, it's a familiar verse. It's Romans 8:28. It is, but sometimes we have to be reminded. I come here this evening to remind you. Hello to those of you who are joining on, and I will get to the comments within the next few days. I got to go back and answer and respond to some of them. I get so many responses on different posts, and sometimes I can't catch up, but I see them and I'm appreciative of them. I know that if I oftentimes pay attention to the comments and do all this, I'll get distracted. But I want to get this out so that I can move on. But let me tell you something in this, and this is the NASB version, okay? 8:28, a familiar verse. Let me read to you what it says, okay? And excuse this glare from this lamp light. And we know that God causes, He causes, not us, not our family members, not our pastors, our apostles, the prophet, whomever. It's Him. It's Him. He causes all things to work together for our good. But guess what? For those who love Him, who serve Him, and who are called according to His purpose. Let me tell you something. See, we love quoting scriptures. We love when it's saying, yeah, all things are working for my good. Yeah, but He causes them to work. It's not us. And when it says all. Let me read it to you again. All things. And we know, we should know. We should know. But sometimes He has to send a reminder that He causes all things to work for our good to those who love Him. You got to love Him. You can't love Him all the time in the good times. But what about the bad? What about when all hell is breaking loose? What about when the obstacles are going on, when people are lying on you, closing doors are being shut, you losing your job, kids acting funny, dogs and cats, they acting crazy, your money looking funny, your bosses, you've got bad evaluations, people you thought, what about those times too? So you should know that even in those times, He's the one that causes all things to work according for our good. For those who love Him, not love material stuff, not love mammon, not love vain things, not a coveting over other people's stuff because you want it, not a doing things and remaking the things and doing things because you're trying to be like this or you want to fulfill a void. Because if you're doing things contrary to what He said about you, you don't love Him. You're saying He made a mistake. You're saying, well, God, you said this, but I don't feel all in your emotions. And that's the thing we can't be doing. We got to get out of our emotions about a lot of stuff. We can't operate. We can't propel. We can't move forward totally if we're always doing things by our emotions. It says, for we know. But oftentimes, sometimes you don't know. You gotta remember, you gotta have a reminder that what he said, it is so. All things work together. The good, the bad, the ugly, the nice, the stresses, the obstacles, all things, they're working for your good. For those who love Him, that are called according to His purpose, not into what you want to do, not into what your friend or your somebody told you to do, but that are called by Him. Because He causes those things. So if you're doing things out on your own, He ain't told you to do it. Don't expect for Him to come and save the day when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, all things work together according to those who love Him or who are called according to His purpose. Listen, all things ain't gonna work together if you don't love Him. And if you're not called according to His purpose. See, we pick and choose things that we want to abide by, understand, have a reminder of. Then you want to quote and say things that you don't really fully have the wisdom and the knowledge of understanding. The Bible says, with wisdom, get an understanding, get knowledge and understanding. You got to get all of it. You may be wise, but do you understand what you're talking about? That's totally different. Knowledge is important, but understanding is too. You got to understand what the word is trying to tell you. It says, for we know, we should know that He causes all things, all, not some. It's all. Go look in the dictionary, Webster's dictionary, whatever one that you got to look at. Because all means all, to work together according to those who serve Him and are called according to His purpose. So all that stuff has to work together. You got to love Him, not yourself, not material stuff, not a man or a woman, not your dogs, not your pastor. You idolizing and all these things, you idolizing stuff, material stuff and things, and not even understanding that. For we supposed to know that all things for those who love Him. You can't love man. You can't love and hide and esteem other people, but you want all things to work for your good. Who love Him? He causes all things to work together for the good. So be encouraged. Love the Lord like your life depends on it, because our life does depend on it. And sometimes you have to go and remind yourself and be intentional about what you're supposed to do. Be intentional about following Him. Be intentional about seeking Him. Be intentional about communing with Him so that you can understand what He's trying to tell you, even when the reminders come. So be encouraged. Be of good cheer. Know that all things are working according to His purpose for what He has called you to do. They're working for your good. And know that He's intentional about you, but you got to be the same way when it comes to Him. This is a relationship. It's when you commune with someone, you communicate, you have a relationship. You've signed you got a contract with Him. So there's some things that you have to do. There's some things that should be reciprocated. It shouldn't be no one-ended thing. That's what's wrong with a lot of the relationships, friendships, and this. It's people so it's used to getting, but they don't never want to give. Reciprocity should be at an all-time high. But I come by to tell you to be intentional and to know that all things are working for your good. Be encouraged, and I'll see you next time on Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you to those who sow seeds and sow into the ministry, into the work that comes through renovating lives or women on a mission. Please visit my website, or and I got to revamp my website, but my Facebook pages to stay up to date of what all me, the Purpose Pusher Coach, is doing in this hour, in this season. Be blessed, and I'll hope to see you next time.